Hey everyone, how you doing? So it's day 38. It's a lovely sunny day in Columbus and we're just about leaving Columbus, heading into
Alabama. So leaving Georgia and heading into Alabama.
We're going back into Georgia in a bit, but we're heading somewhere we think you might find interesting. So one of the main questions we keep getting asked is, why didn't you buy one in the States? Why didn't why did you ship it over? Well, first of all, we didn't really know much about buying one in the US, and we also didn't really know the prices. But we are heading now to an RV dealership and RV shop because we want to try and find something for our water hose, and we're going to check out the prices and see what's the score with buying an RV here. Can anyone just rock up and buy one? Who knows? So we're going to go and find out at an RV dealership. So we'll see you there in a minute. So we're at Ashley Outdoors. We've come to have a little chat with people to see what's the difference in prices and whether it is actually worth bringing something over to the UK or not. They've just got loads of stuff here. I don't even know where to start. Come to Ashley's and it's amazing. It's not just RVs, there's like boats and all sorts of stuff here. Gary's trying to get the hose for the grey water. He's just been helped out now. So Brad, talk me through the process. If I wanted to buy a motorhome or one of these fifth wheelers, could I do it from the UK?
You could. It would be a much easier process if someone were coming with cash in hand.
Yeah.
Since they wouldn't have to deal with the credit process, which would require, as you know, a bunch of different things from visas and social security numbers. So if you are coming from the UK to buy, cash is probably the best and easiest option.
And do you need a US address if you've got cash? Let's presume you've got cash to go. Would you need a US address?
You would need a US address. You'd probably have to prove that you're here legally.
Okay, so potentially you'd need your 10-year visa that we've got,
right.
The multi-entry.
Or I don't even know what the visiting visa is called anymore.
It's a multi-entry visa. We've got a 10-year multi-entry visa, and I think it must be that you'd need.
Are you on a green card?
No, not a green card because you can't work or anything, but it's a tourist visa.
Oh, okay.
So you could use it on that. So if you came along with cash, you could come into one of these dealers and buy. Could you buy online? How easy would that be?
Quite a bit of our business is online now.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We are by volume, one of the largest dealers in the country. We are in the state of Alabama, but probably 75-80% of our business is out of state.
Okay.
People come from all over the country.
And do you ship to other locations? So someone flew into New York. Could you ship it to New York, for instance?
We have haulers that we work with, people that will pick up campers and take them to people that buy them online. And
do you sell second-hand and new?
Second-hand and new.
And what sort of price ranges do you go from? So what would be your lower end and lower year to your higher end and higher year?
So as far as used, we don't have a lot of used, and that can be all over the map. We generally don't take in anything over 10 years old. Okay. Because then it's more problems than anything. But our new stuff, everything now is pretty much 2023 and up. We do have a couple 22s left. And we start at about $13,000.
And that's for a fifth wheeler, yeah?
No, that's for a single axle, what we call the wobble box. Just a small basic trailer. And then you get up into something like this, which would be in that $80,000 to $90,000 range.
And what about like a motorhome to us? That's what you call a C class, isn't it? Similar to what? Yeah, class
drivable,
C. Yeah. And so, a drivable. So what sort of things do you have on offer here that's a drivable? So someone rocks up and they got the whole thing all in one place, Brad.
We have, we carry the Conquest line right now. We just got back into drivables about 6 months ago because there is a niche for them now. So we started carrying them again. And we have, in the drivables, we got stuff ranging from, I'm going to say it's 60s up into 70s.
And that's for new? That's actually really very good. And we're going to have a look at some of them, aren't we, as well? Perfect. Thank you. So we've just arrived where the C-Class, I think you call it again, didn't you, Brad?
Yes, ma'am.
Like trailer, motorhomes are. And tell us a little bit about the people buying these, because they're not quite as popular here, are they?
No, depending on which part of the country you're in.
Okay.
It seems like here they're not as popular. I think the biggest reason is with those, once you get somewhere, you're there.
Yeah.
And there you stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? With the pull behind, you can unhook and you can go and visit and tour. And, you know, with these, you're kind of limited to what you can do unless you're fortunate enough to pull a vehicle behind it.
Yeah. So we're going to go and take a look in one of these Conquest ones. So they've got pull-out sides, I noticed.
They've got slides on them as well.
Oh, wow.
It just gives you so much more space inside of the slide.
Oh, so I'm going to... Oh, my gosh. So there's a couple of steps up. This is miles bigger than ours. 1, 2... Oh, gosh. It's huge. So you've got a little kitchen area here, which is quite nice, actually. It's a bit smaller than my kitchen area, interestingly enough. It's got a full oven, and it looks like a gas grill. Very nice sort of step down into the driveway. It's like a little den in here. That's interesting. And a really nice sort of little bistro table bit. Obviously a big bed. That looks... What size is that, Brad?
That's going to be a queen size.
Yeah, that's nice and big. It's not actually... It doesn't feel that claustrophobic there, does it? Because it's a bit wider, that one. Oh, gosh, look at this. So there's a bunk bed here, obviously for someone with smaller thighs than myself. And look at this, a little bedroom. That's a bit smaller of the bed, but it's about the average sort of size in a motorhome. And I'm going to have a quick peek in the bathroom. Very nice. It was a good size shower. It's quite large, actually. It's a big size shower tray. So, Brad, how much would this one cost you? This is a brand new model, isn't it?
Brand new 2023, and this one's going to be around $92,000.
$92,000. I think that's just over £80,000. I think that's very comparable. How many would sleep in this? Is 6, 8 berth?
I believe this is 10.
10 berth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. And what sort of capacity... How does this run sort of with your waste and that? Is it and your water tank? How big is the water tank
it's
and the
going to
waste?
be very similar to any type of other camper. You're probably going to have about a 40-gallon tank.
A 40-gallon tank for your water, for your fresh water. And what about your waste water?
They're going to be in around that 35 gallons.
Okay, so it's always just slightly less, isn't it? And in terms of your black waste, does that get held in quite a large tank as well? Is it?
It's about the same size. You know, so people just got to check their levels and make sure they dump it at the appropriate time. So
you don't have a lot of used vehicles here, do you?
No, ma'am. We do get some every now and then, but we're a tough place to trade in because of our new prices. Our new prices are quite a bit lower than most other dealers.
Yeah.
So our trade-in values reflect that. Sometimes people have a hard time wrapping their head around the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, for easy numbers, well, this dealer down the road offered me $20,000 for my camper. Well, you're paying $15,000 more for your new camper.
Yeah.
Than you would be here. So obviously our trade-in is going to show that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what do you do? Do you just usually move your second-hand ones straight on?
Yeah. They'll sit here for a couple days.
Yeah.
Because when they do trade in, we're getting them low enough that we price them very, very well. And as soon as they go online, they're usually gone within a couple of days.
Wow. In terms of depreciation, what's it like? What's the market like in the US? So
as soon as you pull away, you're probably going to lose about 15%.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So if you had something for sale that was second hand and you bought it second hand, say for instance you bought something second hand for about $60,000. What would you expect it to be worth about a year later if you'd put about 20,000 miles on it?
That's a very tough question to answer because the RV market, recreational vehicle market, boats, campers, drivables, it's the ups and downs with those. As far as depends on new inventory, because that drives a lot of the used prices. And it depends on what it is. Is it a drivable? Is it a pull behind? How big is it? A lot of factors come in when you're talking about depreciation.
Will you just talk me through a little bit about what are the different types of RVs? Because I know we talked about this being a class. There's a pull behind.
So we have what we call the bumper pulls, and they range in size from about 16 foot up to 35 foot. And then we get into our fifth wheels, which are the ones we were in before. They're obviously a much bigger camper on average. So you need, like I said, the bigger trucks to pull them. We have what we call toy haulers, which are campers that you can haul golf carts, motorcycles, stuff like that. Because people do haul their motorcycles around the country. And then really, we do have some what we call pop-ups.
Okay.
Which are little boxes that once you get to your site, a little bit of manual labor, and they pop up into a camper. That market has kind of slowed down a lot just because of the cost of our newer single axle campers. So
brilliant. So that was a really interesting visit to Ashley's outdoors. It was absolutely fascinating, so much to see. But what do you think, like, the upshot is, I think, Gary, for us?
I think that visit there, and speaking to the guys that we did, has reaffirmed our decision to bring the motorhome, to bring our motorhome over here. I think there were just too many variables for us to have done it the other way. So I'm chuffed a bit, we did the right thing, definitely.
I do think, however, if you were buying a new motorhome, it would be much easier and probably a lot less expensive to buy here and use that. So if we were in the market for a brand new motorhome, I think it's a different ball game altogether. Ours is a lot older, and those motorhomes were fantastic if you were getting it, and you'd obviously get your warranty, someone that you can kind of trust to buy from. So I can definitely see the benefit of buying in the States and using it if you were going to use it for a long term. But if you were in the same position as us and had a second-hand vehicle that you already had, it probably works out better for you to ship it over like we did. But wasn't it great to see those other motorhomes?
It was. Some of them motorhomes are something else, aren't they?
They really are.
Bigger than most of the houses we've ever lived in.
And those fifth wheelers are amazing. I can see the benefit of having it hooked onto a vehicle, but it's very similar to our caravan situation in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it would have much value if you brought it back to the UK in terms of how you get rid of your dump and stuff like that.
And of course, one of the things to think about, if you're going to buy a fifth wheel or a trailer, as they call them, you've got to then buy a car.
Yeah.
And a specific car to pull a fifth wheeler.
Exactly. So we've got some exciting news now. We're going off to lunch. Always very exciting. So we're going to go and get ourselves a bit of lunch, and then we're going to go and see something weird and wonderful this afternoon, aren't we, Gary?
We are.
Stay tuned for more and hit that subscribe.